All right, guys, it's time for your daily demo, and right now we're going to have a look at NASCAR The Game 2011, courtesy of Ed Martin from Utechnics. Ed, thanks for joining us.
Great to see you, Sean. Thanks.
So, Ed, Utechnics, it's their first time working on this new NASCAR game. You guys sort of have the opportunity to start fresh, a blank slate, as it were.
Yeah, very much.
What are you guys trying to do to breathe new life into NASCAR?
Yeah, well, the NASCAR games have been out there for a long time. In fact, I've been doing this since 1994, so they've been out for a long time. But what we're trying to do here is come up with the right balance where the gamer is able to get into it. The NASCAR fan, there's a lot of them out there. Right. 75 million NASCAR fans.
That is true.
We've never sold 75 million games before. But how do you get the controller in the average NASCAR fan's hands and let them have a good time? Give them that perception of reality. They can get out there and run with Dale Earnhardt Jr., but then give them the depth to really live through and get into the depth of what the sport is all about. So we're starting with, Utechnics has been around for 24 years. We're starting with an incredible simulation engine. Our challenge has been to do that front end, to make it approachable for the fan. I think we've really done it. You were out there racing earlier and had some fun with it.
I'm a pretty big racing nut, but I'll be honest, I'm not a huge NASCAR expert, but I was able to pick up the controller, not get into too many big wrecks, and finish 23rd out of 43, so I did pretty well for myself.
But the wrecks are cool, though, right? I mean, the damage
nice,
model, that's sort of the big deal, too. We want to make sure we get that right.
And we've got a nice little visual aid here. We've got our friend John Racing, so...
speaking of damage...
Yeah, speaking of damage,
I don't think Chad Knaus is going to be really happy with the rear end of the.
It looks a little worse for the wear. So tell us what's going on here. How does your your driving model compare to other racing games? Say your Forzas, your Gran Turismo, the real popular ones.
Sure.
How's it compare?
Absolutely. Well, John is racing on California Speedway right here, which is a relatively local track to us. And he's got the adaptive AI turned on, so you're going to find that even the average user is going to be able to pick this thing up and race in the middle of the pack. NASCAR is about pack racing. That's the key. There's 43 cars in the track. You're one of 43 cars. Forza doesn't do that. GT doesn't do that. Totally different types of racing. Great games, but this is really about getting out there and rubbing fenders. I mean, he's literally out there with Joey Logano and Matt Kenseth right there. I don't know if he was rubbing fenders and trying to tear them off, but he's out there with the heroes of the sport. That's what this is about, and you always want to feel like you're in the race. So with the adaptive AI, regardless of your driving skill, it's going to adapt to you and let you do that. But the depth is that you can start to turn all this stuff off and turn the AI on, so it will start really reacting more like the real guys. The other key is that every one of the 43 cars out there is really going to drive like the real-life counterpart. So a guy like a Joey Logano, who's only been around a couple of years, is going to tend to back off a little bit more, or a guy like Tony Stewart's really going to take it to you, or Kyle Busch is going to be very aggressive. And as the race progresses, it really turns. So we're running a 6-lap race right here. John's going to find out when he gets to about lap 5.5, he's going to have cars all over him. Everybody's fighting for the win, so it reacts throughout the race to the way things are. We've also got rivals built into here, so you have a rival out there that's going to be a lot more aggressive with you, and as you progress through the game and you spend 10, 20, 30, 40 hours with it, that rival's going to change. If you're more aggressive towards somebody else, you're going to find out that they're going to come after you, kind of like the real guys do. Rubbin's racing, so we've really done that here. And
you obviously right now we've just got a quick 6-lap race that you can jump into, but you can also do the full sprint cup, right?
You can. The full career mode is put in here. We've got all 23 tracks. Kentucky Speedway is a new track for the 2011 season. We've got it built in the game. In fact, it was a lot of fun going to the owners of the track and showing them all the new grandstands that they're trying to build in the real world. We've got them done. But you can progress through the whole season. You can run 100% length races. So if you want to run the Daytona 500, 3.5 hours later, you'll be done with it. Good for you. But the typical user wants to get in and race, 5, 10 laps, get out there and have a good time.
Right.
And in career mode, you get to determine how long you want to race. You can turn the damage on. We just have cosmetic damage on here, but you can turn on full damage, tire wear, fuel wear. All the pit stops are in here. Everything that the average crew chief can do on race day, you can do when you go in and do a pit stop. Or in the basic mode, you just go in and say, hey, give me 4 tires and make my car a little bit tighter because it's not turning really well. So all that is there. If you go back out to the garage, we'll go into that in a minute. The depth of what you can do to the cars in this game is everything that the real car builders can do back in the shop.
Now, I apologize if you mentioned this already, but there is a rewind function if you mess up on the 200th lap of a marathon race.
Yes, there is. You can hit the button at any time. You go back 5 seconds in time. It's like Galaxy Quest where they have the Omega 13. You go back 13 seconds. We only give you 5 seconons. But yeah, whether you're doing a 10-lap race or a 200-lap race, if you scrape that corner in turn 4 and you just want to cheat a little bit and not really redo the whole thing, it rewinds you back in time, gives you a chance to catch your breath, and then you hit the continue button and on you go.
All right, so we've got a pretty good look at how the driving model and pack racing works in the game, but there's also a very...
And the damage model.
And the damage model. Thank you, John, for crashing into the wall. So now let's take a look at the customization options that's really going to appeal to the NASCAR gearheads out there, because I was looking at that earlier, and the extent of customization you have in there, like,
it's
amazing.
It's
slightly insane.
We spent an amazing amount of time with the NASCAR R&D Center. All the teams are involved in the game. The engine builders, Rails GH Racing has been a partner in this, and truly anything that you can do back in the shop, we allow you to do in this game when you're tuning your car and building your car. We've also been very fortunate that they've been willing to give us a lot of the setups, so that we can give you a baseline of, hey, I'm looking for a good Talladega setup. You're going to get a Talladega setup that comes from the best of the best at racing at super speedways, which is kind of cool. But then you can go in and do whatever you want, because every track's a little bit different. Every driver is a little bit different in what they want to do. And it kind of gives the game just an incredible amount of depth, I think, where you could spend hundreds of hours just in the garage tuning your car. And a lot of the NASCAR fans really want to get into that and do that.
And I'm actually a person who spent nearly hundreds of hours creating custom paint jobs in Forza, and you can actually do that in this game, right?
Yeah, we've got a very Forza-like paint kit in here, which is incredibly detailed, everything you can do. We're obviously shipping with 110, 120 cars in the game, but if you want to go in and, to maintain our ESRB E rating, we can't have the Budweiser car in the game, for example.
Right.
But if you want to go in and create the Budweiser car, the paint kit that's in here is certainly sophisticated enough to allow you to do that.
All right, so we've got the tuning set up here. John, if you could go to, well, that was
the basic tuning.
Yeah, that was the basic
which
tuning,
is sort of the default, and you can see where you can set it up for every track. But if you hit the Y button, we're playing on an Xbox right now. You go in and you can see the detail you can go into, and with the shoulder right button, John, up on top, you can go into incredibly gory detail, which I'm embarrassed to admit. I've been doing these games for over 15 years, and there's still some things in here that I'm not sure how to tune them best, but the NASCAR fans do know.
Yeah, the amount of grill tape over the grill, the cold pressure of the tires, the brake bias, differential ratios, it's pretty nitty-gritty.
Yeah, which really gets down to different driving styles. Everybody wants to tune their car a little bit different, so I could give you Jeff Gordon's setup. We have setups from Jeff Gordon, but you're going to drive, Sean, a little bit different than I'm going to drive, and a little bit different than John's going to drive. So everybody wants to go in and tweak it and tune it. If you want to do it in easy mode, make my car a little bit tighter, a little bit looser, change my gear ratio, you can do basic, or you can go into the level of detail we've just seen. We're kind of looking at the 3D garage we've got here now. This is really a living, breathing garage. As you go through, all the walls will build up with sponsorships that you've won, races that you've won, top fives, polls. The gallery up above where the fans are, more of them will start to watch you as you progress through the game. Really just like a real driver. You get out there and you start as yourself or as Jimmy Johnson.
Right.
But as Jimmy Johnson gets better, he's going to garner more fans, and that replicates in the game.
Cool. Well, Ed, I appreciate you coming by and showing us the game, but could you finish us off by letting us know when the game's going to be out, the platforms it'll be out on, and the whole business with this free 2011 patch?
Forgot to mention that, exactly. We will be out for the beginning of the NASCAR season for 2011, so we'll be out this coming February on Xbox, PlayStation 3, and the Nintendo Wii. Nobody's done a racing sim before, NASCAR racing sim on the Wii, so we'll be out on that. We're excited about that. It's shipping with the entire 2010 season, so all the 2010 paint schemes, manufacturers, car models, and tracks. But as a free update, after we ship the game on the Xbox and the PlayStation, we're going to give everybody for free the 2011 season. So the new body styles, all the new paint schemes, and we'll update your career to give you the 2011 tracks, including Kentucky. But we're not taking away 2010. You'll actually have both. So if you want to race 2010, you can do that. If you want to race 2011, you'll be able to do that too.
All right, Ed, thanks again for coming
Pleasure.
by.
Happy holidays.
All right, you as well.
Thanks, Sean.
So there you guys have it. That's your look at NASCAR The Game 2011. On with the rest of the show.